going to be covered the last two chapters. Let me start with question 1. Macroeconomists were criticized after the 2008 and 2009 recession by, so actually the answer is Paul Krugman, right? So this is like basic facts. If you're not familiar with that, so just a good introduction. Milton Friedman, he's a new classical economist, right? So he's considered as the father of the Chicago economic thought, right? He's not living this period. And then James Tobin is even older. And Anna Schwartz, she co-authored with Milton Friedman to study the US monetary history, right? Paul Krugman, he was a Nobel Prize laureate, and he put lots of criticism over the macroeconomic theory or over the failure of the macroeconomists in terms of predicting the coming of the 2008-2009 recession. Now go to question 2. According to real business cycle theory, so the answer is C. Technology shocks have a major role in business cycle. What is technology shock? Essentially is how well we can organize our labor force, how good is the technology in terms of production. If there's a positive technology shock, right, so usually investment is going to increase, the marginal productivity of labor increase, wage increase, consumption will increase. All those patterns meet with what we observe regarding to the US economy or regarding to the basic facts of business cycle, right? So hence, so the real business cycle theory believe technology shock is the explaining factor for business cycle. Question 3, in the coordination failure model, increase in return to scale are best explained by, so this is called strategic complementarity. So what is strategic complementarity? Just think about, so you have capital and labor, right? So they are going to complement each other, right? So you have more capital, so actually leads to higher productivity, right? So this is called the strategic complementarity. Now question 4, for the coordination failure model to work, it must be the case that aggregate labor demand curve. So what we required is that the demand curve, instead of downward, now it's upward slope. That just reflects increase in return to scale. Okay, that caused by strategic complementarity. Not only it must upward slope, they're also steeper than the labor supply curve, and they're going to cross each other. And then, so not only they cross each other, and then can potentially cross at different points, right? So go to question 5. Actually, these are 3, 4, 5, 6, they are connected. Question 5. In the coordination failure model, the good equilibrium is characterized both low real interest rate and a lower price level than the bad equilibrium, right? So the low real interest rate is going to good for investment, right? So low price level is good for consumption, right? So this is characterized both lower level price and interest rate. Now question 6, a model with coordination failure, usually it has multiple equilibrium. Hence, there's a rule of coordination, meaning so which equilibrium do we believe our economy is going to settle, right? So this is, you need coordination to settle the economic outcome. Now, question 7, this asks you true or false. In the real business cycle model, money supply is procyclical if the central bank acts to smooth movement in price level. Okay. The answer is correct. So what this means, okay, so the price level usually decline in recession and then rise during expansion. If the central bank trying to smooth the movement in price level, meaning they are trying to boost our price level in recession, and cool down the price level in recession. And then, so what they're going to do is that, so they are going to adjust the money supply accordingly, right? And then this is called pro-cyclical, right? So during the expansion, so they may want to tighten the money supply. And during recession, they want to expand the money supply to stimulate or to smooth the price level. Okay. Question 8. If there's a coordination failure, right, so what will happen? So the correct answer is that optimism can be self-fulfilling. But on the other hand, pessimism can also be self-fulfilling. What this means? This just means if everyone are optimistic about the state of the economy, they are accordingly, and then the economy is going to settle in the good equilibrium. On the other hand, if everyone is pessimistic about the economy, and they behave accordingly, and then the economy is going to settle in the bad equilibrium. So this is coordination failure. Hence, we need the government intervention to direct or to boost our confidence when we are in the bad equilibrium. Typically, that's what we call the recession. Now, question 9, true or false? In the real business cycle model, the real wage is counter-cyclical. The answer is wrong. So actually, in real business cycle model, when there's a recession, the TFP decline, marginal productivity of labor will decline, wage will decline. The opposite is going to happen during expansion. This immediately means real wage is pro-cyclical, meaning wage is going to rise in expansion and decline in recession. So this is question 9. Now go to question 10. True or false? The real business cycle model is a poor business cycle model as it doesn't fit the key business cycle facts. This is wrong. Okay. Real business cycle model fit the key business cycle facts. Like the earlier question talked about the pro-cyclical wage and interest rate, right? And pro-cyclical consumption, right? And pro-cyclical investment, right? But indeed, real business cycle model has its limitation. Say, for example, it doesn't capture the volatility of investment, or it's not enough to capture the volatility of investment or labor supply. And furthermore, in real business cycle model, there's no unemployment. But in reality, there's unemployment. Not only there's unemployment, the unemployment rate rise during recession. So those are the things real business cycle model cannot capture. Last but not the least, real business cycle model, the driving force behind that is a technology change. But what explains the technology change? So the real business cycle model is silent on that front. Hence, it is limited. But nevertheless, it does feed the key business cycle facts regarding the consumption, investment, labor supply, nominal wage, and interest rate, and of certainty output. Now we go to question 11. We want money mostly because actually money gives us the freedom to, so it means give us like a liquidity, right? So we can buy goods with it, right? So this is 2. This is 2. Question 12, true or false? If real income increase, the real interest rate falls, and then the price must fall. The answer is correct. Okay, the answer is correct. Question 13, money neutrality states that the answer is B, changes in money do not affect real aggregate. Okay, meaning, so the money has no real impact on the real aspect of economy, meaning the consumption, meaning investment, okay, and in the real term. Now, question 14, the real rate on money is, so here the answer is C, negative I. What is I? I is the inflation rate. Okay, how we understand that? So you have money, so for example, you have $100. You leave your $100 as cash, and then after 1 year, it's going to still be $100. Nothing changed, right? But there's inflation, meaning after 1 year, so this $100 is going to bring you less value, or is going to exchange for less goods and service on the market. So that just means, so this is going to bring you a negative return, and this negative return exactly equal to the inflation, because the inflation is going to eat away part of the purchasing power. Okay, so this is real return of the money. So now question 15, the zero lower bound on the nominal interest rate arises because, this is because the answer is A. If the nominal interest rate was less than zero, an arbitrage opportunity would exist. What this means, just imagine the the nominal interest rate is, for example, negative 2%. What this means? Means you borrow $100 from the bank. Bank is going to pay you 2%. And then immediately there's arbitrage. Meaning what? So you just, everyone just go to the bank, or you go to the bank, you borrow infinite amount of money. All right, and then the bank is going to pay you 2% of this infinite sum of money, meaning there's arbitrage, meaning you make a profit without doing anything valuable, right? So you just borrow money, and then immediately you're going to get some profit, right? So this is arbitrage. This is not going to happen. All right. So actually, so if this indeed happens, and everyone goes to the bank to borrow, right? So the bank is going to short of the money, the resource and money supply, right? And then eventually the interest rate will go up. Okay. Now, question 16, at the zero lower bound, okay, as we just discussed. So what happened? Open market purchase of government bond by central bank have no effect. But here are a couple of things. First of all, what is open market purchase of government bond by central bank? So literally, the central bank is going to purchase government bond from commercial bank. As a return, the central bank is going to give the commercial bank some reserve. Right? Remember, what is reserve? So reserve is a requirement by central bank that allows commercial bank to operate legally. And why we need a reserve, which is in case their consumers or their depositors come to their door to withdraw cash. And why people need cash? Because that just facilitates our transaction. Actually, not only that. So cash, or usually we call it liquidity, it won't change price, right? Because think about, you have cash. So that's a perfect example. The price of the cash doesn't change when you change hands, right? So that's open market purchase of government bond. But when the central bank initiate open market purchase of government bond, this is usually when the central bank want to stimulate the economy, or want to reduce the interest rate, right? How this is going to reduce interest rate? Because the central bank buy treasury bond from commercial bank, and then as a return, give the commercial bank some reserve. Now the commercial bank has lots of reserve, and then what they're going to do, they're going to lend it out, right? Then the interest rate is going to reduce, and then the economy is going to start to start to expand. So that's the original idea. But now it's at zero lower bound. The commercial bank is already swamped with liquidity or reserve, right? Now, if the central bank give them extra reserve, so this is not going to work, right? So because the economies already have lots of liquidity, right? But usually, what happens when we in a zero lower bound, the central bank is going to apply unconventional monetary policy. They're going to purchase some other type of financial assets or long-term assets, right? So to kind of stimulate economy. Question 17. If an increase in the level of money supply results in a proportional increase in price with no effect on any real variable, we said that, so basically this just means money is neutral. Right, so there's no real effect on real variables. Now, question 18, going from M1 to M0 to M1 and M1 to M2, what is principle? So M0 essentially just cash or currency in circulation. M1 including cash and money in deposit, like checking account. And M2 include M1 and plus saving account. Okay, and then so what's the difference? And clearly, so the difference is that so M0 compared to M1 is more liquid and more ready to use. Right? So again, so what's M0? It's just cash, currency in circulation. What's M1? Including M0 and plus money in your checking account. And clearly, so M0 is more ready to use compared to M1. But certainly M0 is also more liquid, right? So the answer is C. But B, so if we revert this is from liquid to illiquid, so then the answer is also correct. Okay, so but the answer is C. So question 19, an open market operation refers to, right? So we just talked about that, right? So the answer is this one, an exchange of money for interest-bearing debt by the monetary authority. That essentially, so the monetary authority, which is central bank, they're going to buy or sell the government bond or treasury bill from the central bank, from commercial bank as exchange, provide them with a reserve, but the reserve essentially is money. Right? Why? Because with the reserve, if there's excess reserve in the central bank, and then the commercial bank will use those excess reserve to lend it out, and then immediately it's going to generate money supply in the real economy. Okay. So now the question 20, the last one. The classical dichotomy states that, so it's like we just separate real to nominal, right? So this is the answer is D. Real market determines nominal outcome, but not the reverse, right? So the real market outcomes like real wage, real interest rate, and investment, so on and so forth, is going to determine nominal outcome, and like the price level.